Okay. Um, I'm thinking of like starting a Patreon. I want to get on it early. I don't want to wait till millions and thousands, hundreds and millions and billions of subs or whatever that, because no one knows when that's going to be. And I don't care if it's just two people, five people, whatever. I was thinking about doing it because there are things that I want to say and I don't want to have to deal with any repercussions of YouTube, whatever. But that's, something I'm thinking about. Uh, I know I have a small following, but yeah, it's something I'm thinking about doing because there's a lot of ish that's going down, and I really want to sound off on it. And this platform is not, I don't have that much control over it. So that's a conversation for another time. Yeah, let's get into this Becky thing. So sit down, get your popcorn. Hopefully you'll stay longer than 30 seconds or whatever, because this could probably be a doozy of a breakdown. I don't think I've done, no, that's not true. But last the four horsewomen, I think that I did was a breakdown of Bailey. So anyhow, with that being said, I'm going to go down a road that's going to take a couple of steps back, and then I'm going to bring this all back. So if you can hang with me, it's all going to make sense. So last week, and it's probably still rolling over into this week, there was discussion as to why Becky was given the championship and things of that nature. And I'm also going to tie it into the WrestleMania episode that I did, the pre and the post that I did regarding her. Okay, so which angle do I want to go with it on? Okay, I'm going to tie this up from the WrestleManias, and then I'll swing back around to the whole controversy, if it's still controversy, whatever. Okay, I said in the WrestleMania episodes, right, the WrestleMania 40 episodes, I was explaining how Becky did not have to beat Nia Jax, right, because she was still going to have the title match with Rhea Ripley. And I also said it would have been better storyline if they had waited and held off because of the character, her trying to live up to a standard of seeing if she can compete with Rhea and all this stuff, right? It just would have made better sense if that match didn't have a winner at all, or if they just would have held that off. Actually, that's what this has say, that if they would have held that match off to the week before, the week leading up to WrestleMania that week, and then it didn't have a definitive winner. And now as we see, what I said was right, because no one could predict that Rhea Ripley was going to get injured. If you left that match with no winner, even if Liv had interrupted or whatever, once this happened with Rhea, it would now come back now. You could run that back now. Well, since we never finished that match, and now that you're the champion, hey, let's have this match. Or you could have done a three-way dance with her, Liv, and Nia. It just goes to show that the cliches they do over and over and over. One thing I can't stand, right? And they did this last night on Raw. I know, it just kind of wears me down. Is Jey Uso has a match against Damian Priest. I hate when they do. Now he's got to do a tag team the week of. Then 2 weeks prior, it's got to be something else with him and Damian Priest. And then there's going to be something else with him and Damian Priest. It's like, oh man, I'd rather them just cut promos. And if they're going to have a match, let's say the pay-per-view, the PLE rather, it's not until like 3 weeks. Maybe they have something going on the first week, then they get the challenge, and after that it's just promos. It's like watching a match and then expecting me to really get a full enjoyment watching another match the next week with them two, and then the following week with them two, and then when you get to the pay-per-view, it's like, dude, I just watched them wrestle like 3 fucking times already. I don't like when they do that. And this with this, kind of, it's not the same, but it is to me in my mind, because it's just a cliche. Going back to what I was saying, if she did not win that match with Nia, Sorry, I had to yawn. It's been a long day, long few days. Sorry about that. I didn't even tell you that, but whatever. So now when Rhea with this injury, it just makes more sense to have, because now they're like, oh, well, remember Nia now, she has one more week before she goes to SmackDown, and now she has this match with Liv and whatever. That could have been a match with Becky and Nia, because now she has the title, and to my recollection, she doesn't have a match at Backlash. And I always thought, unless I'm tripping out, I always thought that Backlash sometimes was when you would have your rematch. So maybe Becky outside of outside of SummerSlam or something. Anyway, whatever. I don't want to ramble on with that. It just made more sense that when they had that last woman standing match, that there was no definitive winner. And now when we see what happens, it would have made more sense to now have Becky and Nia throw down. And that could have bought you. Let's say you wanted that to even spill into Backlash, and then you close the chapter on the Becky and Nia issue, and then you bring Liv in, so now she can wrestle Liv. Oh, wait a minute. Does she have a match with Liv at Backlash? No, anyway, you got somebody. I'll get caught up to speed. Anyway. So, because of what happened to Rhea, now you have to make changes to actually what's going on, and to buy yourself a little time. Let's say she did have a match at Backlash. She has a match with Nia on Monday, right, last night or whatever, and then maybe that doesn't even finish, and then you know what, we're gonna finish the Backlash, and then Backlash, maybe they throw down, and then Liv gets involved, and since I believe Liv is staying on SmackDown, then that's gonna transition, and then you can send Nia over to SmackDown, and let's say she still never finishes, there's no definitive winner with her and Becky. That's just another story that's down the line. It's to be continued, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Just like how they picked it up when, you broke my nose, I made you did it. It's like fucking 5 years ago. You pick it up and you start it over again. Anyhow, so she does a thing with Nia Backlash. Liv gets involved. Let's say there's still no definitive winner. Monday Night Raw, Bex comes out. Now you want to stick your nose in there. Oh, I told you it was the Liv Revenge tour. So now you bought another month, because I'm just going to go on a guesstimate that maybe Rhea probably won't come back until SummerSlam. Just they can take her off. She can rehab. I don't even really know. They never really said what actually happened, at least to my knowledge. She can, get that time. And then even for mental health, she could just chill, heal, right? She has, 3 months now. Let Becky just do this run. Don't, their next really, really big PLE. What's the face already did the Australia run, so she doesn't have to feel a need. Oh my God, I need to be in Australia. It's my hometown. No, she can just cool out, rehab this issue that's going on. Let Becky run this right now until SummerSlam. Bring old girl back. They can run it back. Becky loses again, and you give Rhea back the belt, and it's all back to what it is, right? That's just how I see the world. Anyhow, so you do the Nia thing, Monday Night Raw, Backlash. I'm just retracing it to catch everybody up again. Liv gets involved, then that spills into Monday. Now she challenges Liv. So now, I don't know. I think the next thing is going to be the King and Queen of the Ring. I think that's overseas or whatever that's going to happen. So maybe, that'll be the match with her and Liv, right? But then again, Backlash is going to be this week in May. I don't know I don't know how many PLEs they're going to have this month of May, right? So let's just say hypothetically, the Queen of the Ring is going to be at the end of May, maybe leak into June. So now she can do a build-up where she has something with Liv. And in between then, you do something else with, maybe you take out, or if they don't have a match, whatever, right? You don't have a match. You don't milk that. You wait till the next PLE. Now you have with Liv. And then you have one more storyline with Becky before Rhea comes back. Or you can have it build up to something and Rhea comes back, and smashes on her, and then it kind of leads into, maybe Becky gets, storyline injured. She doesn't have to go to the July PLE, whatever it's going to be. And then, it's all built up for SummerSlam. So she also gets a break too. And then Rhea can just come out and cut promos, and it all leads into, because SummerSlam is going to be the first weekend in August. Finally, to my recollection, I keep seeing SummerSlams at the end of the month, and it's called SummerSlam. Why are you putting it at the end of August? Anyhow, so that's just how I see that whole shit play down. Because I was like, see, I'm looking at this like, it's exactly what I said. She didn't have to beat it, because it didn't make any sense. I don't care if she beats Nia Jax or not, because she's already slated to wrestle Rhea at WrestleMania. What, I'm going to want to give back my ticket now? Oh, you lost against Nia Jax. I'm not going to, like, no. Look, I came up with this concept, and I end that on this, right? A character or a storyline is as good as your pen game. And you're talking to an artist, right? As a filmmaker, as a writer, a storyline is as good as your pen game. So if you believe that, oh, she has to win because then your fucking pen game is weak, because we've been doing the same thing over and over again. And I know if it ain't broke, then don't fix it, but fix it sometimes and tweak it. This is what happened with Rock and Cody. They tweaked it. Everybody, and then everybody shut the hell up, right? You tweak it. She didn't have to win. Then you see what happens. Oh man, wow, it was a good thing we, didn't tie that up, because now we can just run it back with her and Nia, and that could buy us some time, and yada yada yada. So I'm gonna leave that. We're gonna transition into what the heart of the matter, the whole issue. All right, let's go. Okay, as I stated before, I'm going to go in one direction, but I'm going to bring this all back. All right, just be cool. Okay. Out of the 4 horsewomen, this is the order, talent-wise, in my opinion. Okay. Mercedes is top. Then I switch back and forth between Charlotte and Becky. I'm leaning a little bit more toward Becky. Bayley comes in last out of those 4, right? For right now. Becky has a thing to me that when I watch her, she can make small things look very, very big. It's something that's undescribable. At least I thought it was undescribable. I'm going to say, like, for example, you guys probably don't watch AEW at all, right? But there's a young lady on there. She's cool. Her name is Red Velvet. She used to run with Jade Cargill, right? She has boxing experience, but it's something that she does very well in the ring. Red will do something where she'll whip somebody to the rope or get them in the corner, and then she starts throwing punches, jabs, to the body. And the way that she does it just looks cool. She takes something small like that, and the other person has to sell it, and they usually sell it well. Something as small as that, the jabs, boom, boom, boom. It just comes across very well. Becky does shit like that to me. I'm like, damn, she can take something so small and she knows how to, it looks fucking big when she does it, So yeah, it goes back and forth. Charlotte, I don't want this to become a thing of the whole 4 horsewomen, but this, I'm just putting it out there so no one feels like I'm bashing. Charlotte, to me, her movesets, they haven't changed. She's added some new things. She is more, I don't know, almost like structured in her movesets. But, hold on. Sorry about that. So it's kind of hard to put in. It's like I wanted, put like this. I'll make this very fast and we'll move on. At one point, Charlotte, she wanted to go and represent WWE by wrestling some of the luchadores. I don't want to say luchadors, but luchadores, right? That's why I just named them luchadores. The female Mexican wrestlers. She wanted to be with her hubby at the time, and that got shut down. I thought that would have been a cool idea because now you can kind of get a mixture. Charlotte would have to change up her game a little bit as far as how she's wrestling with them. I hear people say, oh, she can wrestle in this style. I haven't seen that. Outside of like Asuka, I haven't really seen it. Not saying that she can't. She doesn't get a chance to do it. And if you've heard previous episodes, you've heard me speak on me learning now that talents are dumbing down their wrestling for XYZ. I'll leave it at that. I put those four in the order. It doesn't mean that anyone's a loser. It's just performance-wise, this is what I think. Okay, now with that said, okay, my issue with Mercedes is two things. And this is all going to come around, trust me. One, I've been hearing a lot of things about how she treats supporters. That's bad. She has a piss poor attitude when it comes to dealing with people that want autographs and things like that. And it's been enough times that I'm just like, you know what? You better remember this when you're going to these WrestleCons and yada, 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 15 years down the line and the tables are empty if you don't change your shitty attitude. What I'm seeing is there used to be a term in hip hop we used to call living your lyrics, and it popped up with like Tupac. After he did Juice, oh, he's Bishop, this and this. And then you had a lot of hip hop artists acting like they were hard and I'm tough and I'm streets and I'm thugging it. And it's really bullshit. She took on that persona. And this is one of the reasons why I want a whole other fucking Patreon thing, because I really can dive into this. She took on that persona of, and now she's the Monet, CEO and all that shit, right? She took on to that persona. And I remember one time she did a tweet or a few tweets, and it was like being poor, something class. And I'm glad I have money, and being poor, you guys suck, or some shit like that. But I think that it's starting to go to her head a little bit. And then when I listened to her on the Steve Austin interview, and she was talking about how they were poor and yada, yada, I'm going, oh, okay, so this is that shit. It's kind of like taking over. That persona, she's kind of living this persona. So the way that she treats people, from what I heard, and I heard from some respected talents, is fucking piss poor. Even when she was in WWE and now she's free agent, there was actually footage of her on the indies treating somebody like shit. 2, when she doesn't get her way, she fucks up other people's shit. Okay? What do you mean? Okay. When we first heard the rumor, and I remember my neighbor watches wrestling, and we backtracked this, and I said, was I bugging out when she and Bayley had that issue about the titles? And it was rumored that they were trying to, strike against where the titles were being presented and laying in the whole fucking hallways and all this other shit. Whatever. One, it's like that could kind of come back on Bayley, because if Bayley is riding with her and it's Mercedes, we'll put another term, all right, because that one they might have been on equal standing, right? So we'll let that one go. But then she then broke out and was claiming mental health issues when I kicked Saraya in the back and caused her injury and yada yada. That to me was bullshit. To me, it was bullshit. I think that shit was wrapped around them titles because you saw her do it again with Naomi, which we will get to. Okay, now the second time, and this might be other times, right? She's supposed to have that follow-up match with Bianca in Backlash. She fucking breaks the COVID protocol. Vince doesn't allow her to wrestle. That match gets deaded, right? Third time, Naomi. And it's probably times that I missed. Naomi, you're not treating the titles right. And look, this is a business. I fucking understand that shit with the titles. Trust me. But this is what you signed up for. Until your contract is out or whatever, then you bounce. I respect what her and Trinity did by leaving. I fucking get it. But at the same time, what was in the back of my head was, every time she does shit like this, it fucks up somebody's run. It fucked up Bianca's run a little bit until they flipped the plan. We'll come back to that. And it kind of botches up Naomi's run a little bit. Now it ended up working out because when they leave, right, Naomi Trin now, aka Trin, is supposed to go to New Japan, and the contracts fall through, I think because of her money. She ends up going to Impact, and the rumor was that Impact signed her because they wanted to try to get Mercedes, and it didn't happen. But Trinity had a fucking dope run. She had a really good run. She handled herself very well. She came back. To me, I kind of still wish she was there because Impact is fucking falling apart. But okay, it is what it is. So that's how I look at it. Like every time you do these little acts, you fuck up somebody's run. So now I'm watching her in AEW and I'm like, all right, let's see how long this is gonna last. And let's see now if maybe I'm not crazy. If she doesn't like something in a year or two or whatever, if it's when she's tagged up with somebody, or there's a pay-per-view thing that's getting ready to come up, and how she will fuck this thing up. It's kind of, almost like it's similar. I'm reminded of Kylie Ray. Not Kaylee. I'm not fucking it up this time. Kylie Ray. When Kylie Ray was put in, it seemed like to me when they were going to put the strap on her, because from what I thought I heard, she was supposed to be the first AEW champion. She shit the bed. Mental health issues. And then bounce. Not shitting on mental health issues. The reason why I'm saying it that way is because I believe that they were going to do the same thing for her in Impact, and she did the same fucking thing. So when WWE said that they were going to have her in, I was like, I don't know how long that's going to last. But you saw it didn't pan out. Plus, she got pregnant. So I just bring that up because that's what the Mercedes shit reminds me of. Like, you fucking up shit that you shouldn't be fucking up. Okay, the reason why I'm bringing up the whole Mercedes thing, right? This is going to come into the Becky thing. Trust. Pre-WrestleMania episode, I spoke on wanting to go back and watch the match with Jimmy Uso, John Morrison, and Kofi Kingston, right? And I ended up doing that a few days ago. But that led me down the rabbit hole. And that rabbit hole being Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. And I was reminded of, oh shit, I forgot. Becky wrestled while she was pregnant. And that night, a few days after on Raw, that's when she dropped the belt, I believe, gave it to Asuka and made that announcement. 2 nights after. Anyone, please feel free to correct me, right? So the light bulb goes on again in my head. And I go, oh shit. Side note, while I'm watching that match, and I bring it back, while I'm watching that match, I'm sitting here saying to myself, I go, wow, I wonder if Shayna knew, like if they pulled her in the trailer, like her and Seth, and like, we want to talk to you, like she never told anybody else, but she just told Shayna because she has to take care of her in the ring. It was like quiet as kept. This is what's going on, yada, yada, yada. Because that's a brutal match. Or she just might have kept it quiet. And I'm still thinking like if it's a brutal looking match. If she did keep it quiet and Shayna didn't know, and Shayna did well by her by treating her good in the ring as her in-ring partner, 20 gold stars for Shayna. And I think it would be cool if on this run, if she runs it back with Shayna. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, so I'm like, yo, she wrestled while knowing that she was pregnant, right? I'm like, oh shit, like that's ballsy. It shows you how much commitment that she has and how much she's committed to the company, right? Maybe now you're starting to see where I'm going with this, right? So I'm just, like I said, I was watching one match, and then that I stumbled upon, and I watched the Becky and Rhea match. Oh, that's a really good WrestleMania. That's 36. That WrestleMania 36. I didn't watch everything. I was mostly, me, I like watching ladies. The four-way dance, or five with Tamina, Um, go look at it. I don't want to get too sidetracked, but yeah, that's they had a lot of good matches. KO and Seth, that was a good match too. Anyhow, so now we fast forward. Rhea gets injured, right? And they have this contest. And soon as I saw the lineup, I said to myself, I said, yo, this it's going to be corny if they give it to Becky. They should just give it to Nia. And I'm thinking about what I said previously about the whole match that they had last Women's Standing. It would be better to give to Nia. People are going, it should be Liv. It can't be Liv, and I'm going to explain why. But give me a second. Or it fucking can be anybody they want it to be. But the reason why at this point it should not be Liv. Okay, so if Nia had the title, right? You have a good heel. I don't know what they had in mind at what point in time. If they already knew when they did the draft that they're bringing Nia over to SmackDown, maybe that ties into the bloodline. Who knows? We've all been waiting for this with Tamina, if they bring her in the fold and yada, yada, yada. Who knows? But Nia gets the title, right? You have a heel. You have someone that it can be good on the mic. Circling it back. When they gave Liv the title, when she beat Ronda Rousey, and the following SmackDown, that's a whole week after that pay-per-view, a whole week. Unless, yeah, because she did the Money in the Bank thing, I believe, and then she cashed it in, right? Whole week. She came back, and she got on that mic, and it was turd shit. As I was saying, she got on the mic, and that was turd shit, and you can go back and look at it. You have to have strong promos. Your character has to be 1,000% intact. All right. If anyone out there that watches AEW, one of the reasons why, to me, I was heavily invested in Sammy Guevara, and then when he had his solo runs and he took the mic, he sucked. Jack Perry said on Renee Paquette's podcast and show he hates doing promos. Now he's forced in a position where he has to do promos, and he's a heel. MJF, who's the best fucking promo guy they have over there, next to Joe, is excellent. But then again, he's a fucking actor. And anyone that's an actor, wink, wink, Becky, when they're really tapped in, wink, wink, Cody, when they're really tapped in, they are fucking really good doing improv, hitting their promos, meeting their beats. That's why at certain times I can sniff out who's had, like I'll tell you right now, in my opinion, Simone Johnson, unless she's just a fucking natural talent. I'm looking at her mannerisms and I'm watching little shit these do. I'm like, she's fucking trained. Cause she came off too good. I'm talking about her when she was with that for you jabrones that don't watch NXT and you call yourself WWE cats, like you should be watching everything. When she was with the cult, she was cool. She got a little bit of burn. She was actually like the second in command. But when she became GM, that's when it really stuck out with me. I'm like, oh, she's fucking trained. But then who's her father? Of course she would be. I'm like, oh, okay. But anyhow, let's bring this all back. Liv had the stick. Liv was not good. Now, I don't know who to blame is because Vince was still at the helm. And I'm very familiar with the old videos of when she was in the Riot Squad, right? When she was that persona and she was hanging out. There's clips that you could probably find. She was hanging out in IG with Lacey Evans. They were tight. And when she's hanging out with the Riot Squad, I'm not talking about in-ring shit. I'm talking about like when they're doing plane rides together and all this shit. She's fucking live, bro. Live. That shit did not transition into her promo. But then again, this is a different reiteration. This is a different character of Liv. She's not Riot Squad Liv. She's, Watch Me Live. That's what I'm calling her now, right? She's Watch Me Live. But whoever wrote her promos was a turd. And if you heard me speak on the Mandy Rose shit, you know what I'm talking about, go in and go listen to my shit, because you will see there's a difference. I'm not gonna, yeah. Anyhow, so you got to be good, and that means a lot. It's like, it's one thing to want somebody, and then when you get them, and then they go and get on the mic and they cut the promo, it's like, And I'll be honest, I was a little worried about Cody because of the whole, all right, we finished the story. All right, now it's been this big hubbub. Is this cat going to deliver on the promo? And I would say, with the help of Triple H coming out and putting that over in the video and all that, he did great. He's still doing well. The shit that he did with Jay at the end with the yeet, that shit was awesome. That was sweet. So let's move on with that. So she shit the bed. So that's why it cannot be Liv. And this is all my opinion. I don't write the checks. I don't write the storylines. I'm just giving you my opinion. So it would have to be either Nia or Becky. I said, if they give it to Becky, it's going to be fucking lame. But then I had to think about it. And when she won, I wasn't like, oh, kicking the TV over. It's like, okay, this is where we're at. We know what the situation is, right? So I mentioned that, Becky was committed. I'm looking at notes, sorry. Okay, I know what I was saying too. In my notes I had that sometimes Becky is better when she's in a chase. So for her to chase the title with Nia, and keep in mind, as far as I'm concerned, this is buying time until Rhea comes back. That's all, right? So with that in mind, I transition and swing it back to Mercedes SummerSlam Bianca. When she fucked that up, Becky was around, and they didn't, I guess at that time, was trying to figure out how they were going to insert it back in the picture. So what happens? Becky comes in for a missing Mercedes, who almost fucked up that run, right? Beats her in 2.2 seconds. People get mad. Bex goes on her villain run, her heel run, and she flips again into another character. And it was at the same time that Seth had flipped into his character, Fashion Mavens and shit. And I'm sitting there watching this whole thing, and I'm like, yo, I know when she was at home with child, and when she had her child, I can just see her grabbing all these fashion magazines, Mademoiselle, all this shit, and just flipping through these pages and just putting shit together, because her dress code was fire. The glasses, every fucking week it was something fire. Her character breakdown, when she gets in the stick, she's fucking reliable, bro. She is reliable. So me seeing now, she's reliable. It doesn't have to be your face. Who's reliable? When you give her the microphone, she's gonna go off. Case in point, that shit that she did, I don't know if it was improv or not. If it was, chef's kiss 20 times, Beck. That shit she did when she came, it just shows how fucking smooth it was. I watched this shit like 7 times. Jackie Redmond is talking to, I forgot who it was. And then chaos breaks out. And then you see Liv and Nia going at it. And then I'm watching the background. I'm rewinding and watching it. And you just see Becky just calmly come down and just skirts to the side. Oh, the man has many hats. Takes the mic and walks off. But that fucking second, when she walked past Maxine, kid, stopped and thought about it and went back and said that inspiring shit to her and that shit was fucking fire. That character needed it. Especially all the bullshit she's been going through. I have another thing on Maxine that could be fire if they fucking did it. Anyhow, because those little words of inspiration, that shit was fire. The camera just backtracked. She said what she said. Go out there and show it, and then breaks out. That shit was fire. And it's like, oh, we're gonna need another camera. That shit is like, she's top tier talent, bro, as far as her fucking acting. Just like, so I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, I get it now. Yeah, you fucking, this is why she's reliable, bro. That's just the bottom fucking line. I also want to mention that when they had the tournament too, and I'm looking at everyone and I'm like, all right, so she wins the belt. Who the hell is she going to face? Because when you go back, I'm talking in the future, outside of Liv, And Nia, when you look at that roster, everyone was in tag teams. Piper, Chelsea, the KCs, Candice and Indy, Maxine and Beth Phoenix Jr. So everyone was in tag teams. So I'm like, okay, so how is that going to work? Right? And what's even crazier is that as I was writing, I wrote my notes like yesterday, right? Way before like Raw, anything. And I'm writing down, and I had already known that they had moved Alba Fire and I forgot the other young lady's name. Anyhow, I was saying, you know what? This would be a perfect time to push Kaylee Ray at a certain time against Becky. That could be fire. And now y'all can really, she can really get her shit. But she's in a fucking tag team unless they split up. Then I was thinking also Lyra or Kiana James. Like I said, this was before the draft, and sure enough, they moved them both up to Raw. The match that she had with Lyra, that's cool. But here's the thing. We don't know. Actually, you know what? It doesn't matter because she's going to need people that are going to be reliable, that she can get in the ring with. And Lyra would be another one to run that back. Like I said, this is only until when Rhea comes back. I love Kiana James. She was probably one of the first female talents, because I only pay attention to females. First female talents that when I looked at her on NXT, I said, damn, she seems to be, this is before I was paying attention to Lyra. I said, damn, she seems to be the only one that is like improving out of everyone else here. Like and they weren't giving Tatum Paxley's character enough burn. And I was watching Lyra, not as much as, anyhow. She was the first one that I locked in on, and her character, she has a character down. She's had her character down for fucking 2 years since Mandy was here. Just the character work she has down. And then I'm watching her in-ring work, and I'm like, she's got it. They can move her up now. So to see those two, and I'm like, all right, they're lining it up for Becky. At least this is what I'm seeing. So we don't know how long Rhea, remember, I just guesstimated that it's going to be SummerSlam. I have no idea what the fuck is wrong with Rhea. But now she has more competition, and she seems to not mind wanting to push the new generation. Unlike some people when they had a chance to, John Cena, to do it and didn't do it. And you guys can go do your research on that. So, because one of the people that he was supposed to push is now fucking commentating on SmackDown. Anyway, so she doesn't seem to mind doing it. She looks forward to doing it, and Charlotte does as well. This new generation. Anyhow, so now I understand this is business. Becky is a surefire choice for right now to put that strap on. And that's all I can say about that. And I'm out.